If they're willing to lie about things like that, how can you trust any of this that they are saying in any of this process?
That's the perfect example of why they wouldn't give a fair process. And it really comes down to this. They dislike us. They dislike your listeners. They dislike me. They dislike you. Remember, 2016, they called us deplorables. Now they want to disqualify our vote. And they openly say it. They say if we can't beat them, that's why we have to impeach them, and we'll impeach them again. How
hard has it been for you? You expressed great satisfaction in the unity that you've not seen this kind of unity among Republicans before. And it certainly wasn't there in previous houses, previous speakers. How hard's it been to maintain this unity?
It hasn't been hard. But the one thing I did when I became leader is we had to unite if we could ever win the majority. You're not given the majority. You have to earn it. And if there's one thing I have watched is you got to work together to get the synergy. I wanted the very best people. I didn't care if we had differences of opinion. You know, Jim Jordan ran against me for leader, and I'm the one who called him to become ranking member of oversight. He wasn't even running for the position. He's sitting in the gym. I said, you got to get over here. I go into the steering committee. They get upset with me, but I said, he is the very best person for this job. And he has done an amazing job. I put him on the Intel committee. And this is what's happening. We're bonding together. And what's even more powerful, in 2010, I was the recruiting chairman. So I was going out. That's the year we beat 63 Democrats, right?
Right.
At this moment in time, we have 200 more candidates running than we did in 2010. We have more women running as Republicans for Congress in the history we've ever had.
By the way, they're doing a bang-up job. This woman, Raskin from Arizona, is that her? Not Raskin. She's been on TV a couple of times. She's awesome. You've got some really, really fine people making the case.
We've got amazing. Wesley Hunt down in Houston, a graduate of West Point. He flew Apaches for 8 years defending our nation, freedom. Now he's got to defend at home. He's never been elected before. He's ahead by 3 points.
So what happened in 2018? What went wrong? I know there were a lot of retirements, 55 retirements. What happened in 2018?
I think it's a combination of things happened in 2018. We weren't united. History tells you the party in power, whoever wins the White House, loses on average more than 30 seats. Obama lost 63. Too many retirements, well too many retirements. They recruited pretty well, but one thing Democrats did that no one talks about, they changed the election law. Do you know in Maine that only has 2 congressional seats? When you run for office, only federal office, you don't vote for one person, you rank them. So the Republican got the most votes, but he's not the sitting congressman today because the lower person they drop out and that second vote gets a first vote now. In Pennsylvania, they sued and got redistricting. They picked up 3 seats. And the biggest contribution they had was Michael Bloomberg gave them more than $110 million. Because the difference between me being in the minority and being speaker is less than 106,000 votes. There's one other factor if you want to know why President Trump will win. There were 8.5 million people who voted for this president in 2016 who did not show up in 2018. Had they showed up, we know who they are, where they live, we'd have 28 more seats today. We'd be in the majority by 10.
Now, I don't doubt that's true, but I have a tough time understanding why. If you vote for Trump in 2016, you're voting for him specific reasons. He's going in there to rework it, to throw out some things, and you know that he's going to need some help to do it, and you don't show up 2 years later to give him some people to help.
They follow him. They don't follow the party.
Right.
And what they will show up for him now. And the one thing that the Democrats are making a fatal flaw here, they have intensified the base. If you looked at the base in the last election, intensity level was on the Democrat side by 8.5%. CNN's poll just within the last month had Republicans +7. That would put us in the majority. If you just look at the North Carolina 9 race, this is one that we barely won in 2018, and they didn't seat the individual. We went from winning it for about 500 votes to 4,000. If you just do that small improvement, that's 13 seats out of 19 that we need.
It was Debbie Lesko. Yeah, she's been
Arizona.
She's been phenomenal today. They all have. Sensenbrenner, they've all been just. You should be very proud. Time is dwindling. I need to ask you about process. When do you think The final vote on these two articles will actually be on the clock tonight. What time will it be?
It'll be somewhere between 7 and 7:30 tonight.
Any chance you could delay it until midnight or 2 a.m.?
No, because when you have 218, you control the rules in this place.
Right.
And another example, how did we take the impeachment to the floor with Clinton? We took it on a privilege motion so everybody could have a say, so we can extend it longer if you want, so the minority has more power. They brought it under what is called a rule. Once you got to that rule, they control all. They control the time. We can't stop it. We can go do some antic. It'll just make the clock keep running.
Right.
Every part of this process has been against every standard we'd ever lived by. I mean, they've taken the most basic, that you're innocent till proven guilty, and they tell the president, well, he could come and try to prove himself innocent. I mean, the idea of what they've done, and I go back to this, they don't like us, Rush. They don't like who
I know.
They don't believe. They don't like what we believe in, and they will do anything and lie.
They hate us more than Trump. They blame us for Trump. Congressman, I'm up to it. I've got 20 seconds, and I need that to be polite, to thank you for being with us today, making time and spending this half hour with us. And I'm going to guarantee you, millions in this audience smiled when you reported that you have seen evidence the Democrats in the chamber today are down. That's Kevin McCarthy, the Republican leader in the House. A quick time.